Welcome to the ISO with myself, your host, Dan Dickau on the Gonzaga Nation Media Network. Today being a Wednesday means one thing. It is Mailbag Wednesday. Appreciate our sponsor, Epic Sports Bar at Northern Quest Casino in Airway Heights, just outside of Spokane, for being our sponsor. We will have one selected question of the day, and that person will win a $25 gift card to Epic Sports Bar. But as most Mailbag Wednesdays go, I answer 2 to 3 questions. One of those, 3 to 4 questions, one of those will be spotlighted as the question of the day. But we'll just get right to it. Jeff from San Diego asks, what coach would you have wanted to play for in college and or the pros that you didn't get a chance to play for? Well, we'll first start with college. Obviously, I started at the University of Washington for Bob Bender, and then transferred to Gonzaga to Dan Monson, who's now at Long Beach State. But then before I even got on campus, Coach Few took over. Everybody knows what has happened at Gonzaga with Coach Few at the helm. But when you go back and look at who I would have loved to have played for in college, I would have to say Roy Williams at Kansas. I got one phone call from Kansas. I believe it was after the Nike All-American camp going into my senior year. I got one phone call from them. It was from assistant coach Matt Doherty, who has been on the ISO in the past. We need to reach out to him and see if we can get him on as a guest for a second time. But, watching the way Kansas played, where they played so fast, up and down, free flowing, had that great secondary transition offense where you'd throw it ahead if it was there. If not, swing into a back screen, lob over the top, or step out and then attack from there was something that I always thought would have been fun to play for or in that system. And oddly enough, Gonzaga, when I was there, we ran a lot of similar actions in transition breaks. So I would say Roy Williams at Kansas. In regards to the pros, I would say Lenny Wilkins. And the reason why is when you look at Lenny Wilkins, one of the all-time great coaches, in regards to coaching guards. He had, you look down the list, Steve Smith. You look at when he was in Seattle, he was a player coach, so he knows what guards need for opportunities. A guy that I likened to myself a little bit to growing up would have been Mark Price, and Mark Price had some tremendous years under him in Cleveland. But I thought I was going to get to play for him. I had a tremendous pre-draft workout for Toronto, who picked, I want to say, around the 19th or 20th spot. They ended up taking a guy by the name of Chris Jeffries from Fresno State, but they wanted me to come in for a second workout the day of the draft, and it just wasn't going to work with scheduling conflicts of everything else that had been going on for me leading up to the actual draft day. But I think Lenny Wilkins would have been awesome to play for. I know a number of guys that have played for him that had nothing but the best things to say about him as a coach and as a person. And there's a reason you're one of the all-time winningest coaches in the NBA, one of the only players and coaches to be in the Hall of Fame as both. Would have been an awesome experience to learn from him. So appreciate that question, Jeff. Second question comes from Terry in Vancouver. What is the G League Combine that I'm seeing just happen? Well, the G League Combine is very similar to the NBA Draft Combine, where they're kind of, I don't want to call them second-tier prospects because they still have a ton of talent there, guys that may sneak their way onto an NBA roster. But it's kind of the second combine, a chance for the G League staffs to really get a closer look at guys and see maybe how they want to position themselves come later in the summer and fall for putting together their G League teams. But when you look at some of the performances, 3 or 4 guys this year were able to play so well or test out well or show their skills well in workouts that they've been able to take that G League Combine invite and now earn an invite to the regular draft combine. So front office executives were impressed with what they did there. Now they want to see them against again, I hate to use it, but the first tier group that will be at the NBA Combine. So just kind of another opportunity for guys to get in the best light in front of evaluators. So I appreciate that. And last question of the day, and this is actually our Epic Sports Bar question of the day. And Epic Sports Bar at Northern Quest Casino is Spokane's home for sports. Catch all the action up close and personal on a 30-foot HD TV. Enjoy upscale pub fare, craft beer, and cocktails too. Epic Sports Bar, where watching sports is a sport. More info at northernquest.com. And the question comes from Kenny in Spokane. Is Chet going to Orlando? Well, last night was the NBA draft lottery, so we got the selection order about who's going to pick, and with Orlando winning the draft, getting the number 1 pick, I think you're seeing even more Orlando Magic fans here in the Spokane area in the last 24 hours. There were quite a few because Jalen Suggs is playing there, but the speculation is beginning. Chet Holmgren could be a great fit in Orlando as the number 1 pick. I think it would be awesome to see for those two, just because what a tremendous story. High school teammates, AAU teammates, really good friends, both went to Gonzaga in separate years, and would be reunited as teammates in the NBA draft, through the NBA draft in back-to-back years. Jalen Suggs, I believe last year was the number 6 pick. And if Chet Holmgren is the number 1 pick, that would really be awesome feat for the Gonzaga program, but it would be even greater opportunity for Chet Holmgren to really kind of cement, his status and cement some of the things projected from him coming into college. I don't think he's going to go any lower than 4. I think the top 4 guys, I've said all along, the top 3 to me easily are Chet, Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, and then Jaden Ivey's a close 4th in my estimation. But a couple guys seem like they've been moving up in some mock drafts. So appreciate the question. That is our Epic Sports question of the day. Thanks again for sending in your questions on Mailbag Wednesday. You have a question, send it to Dickau at scorebooklive.com or on social media at Dan Dickau 21, or you can always send it to our Gonzaga Nation SI social media channels, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Twitter,